I was doing one of these talks and they said, come talk about creativity. I go, I understand because a lot of people read my book, Rebels Had a Crew, and told me, oh, it made me be a filmmaker. But a lot of people said it helped me start my own business because they just see how you can go be entrepreneurial like that and go where no one else is going. And I'm giving all this talk about this kind of positive stuff. And this one woman goes, you're real positive. But what do I tell myself when I just wasted a year and a half of my life doing something that didn't work? And I was like, well, that's a real negative way to ask that. Can you just rephrase the question a little more positively before I even attempt to answer it? Because already her point of view is exactly what you're saying. She's not looking at all. She's just concentrating on what didn't follow her plan and not seeing the gift of everything else that's there. So she goes, very reluctantly, it was so perfect. I wish we had filmed it. She goes, I learned a good lesson the hard way. And I said, that still sucks. And I say, when you follow your instinct, like if you follow your own instinct to go start a business or go make this movie or that, it wasn't someone saying, go over there and you'll make $1 million. You know, it was your instinct and you fail. Sometimes the only way across the river is to slip on the first 2 rocks. You fail. You have to really sift through, it's like the silver lining, but I call it sift through the ashes of your failure and you'll find the key to your next success is in there. But if you're not looking for it, you don't find it. I'm going to tell you one, and I tell them the 4-room story. I said, I made a movie called 4 Rooms. It didn't make any money, right? When Quentin asked me, hey, do you want to make a movie with me and two other filmmakers? It's an anthology. It's on New Year's Eve. It's in a hotel. You have to use the bellhop. We're not going to know what each other's making. And we make it, we put it together. My hand went up right away, just instinctually. Hey, that sounds, yeah, I'll do that. I'll go make that with you. Now, should I ask the audience? I like to throw it to the audience and her. Should I have not raised my hand that quick? Shouldn't I have done a little studying first? Or should I just go blind instinct? Or should you do instinct with some studying? Okay, well, I could have gone and studied and I would have found that anthologies never work. Like even when it's Coppola, Scorsese, Woody Allen, they bomb because people can't quite rip the hand. What is this, Twilight Zone? I don't want to go see that. But that's not, I still said, yeah, I think I should still go by instinct. So my instinct was to raise my hand. We go make that movie because I love short films. I made like Bedhead and short films. And I thought, oh, here's a way. If this works, I can make short films in anthologies and I can have the best of both worlds.
And by the way, anthologies is when there's multiple.
More than multiple one story.
In one movie.
Story. Yeah, one movie. Just
so if you did the research, you would know that very few people ever got that to work. Bomb.
Yeah, the audience can't quite wrap their end. And then it feels like the movie's starting 3 times, you know. So I make that movie. It bombs. Now, I could feel real bad about that. But if you really think about it, you go, well, why did I sign up for it? Did I raise my hand because I thought it was going to go be this big financial success? No, I did it to work with my friends, to do something creative, to try something. But that's still not good enough. I need to really sift through the ashes. And if I look through the ashes of that failure, I find 2 keys to my biggest successes in there. While I was on the set, they said it has to be New Year's. So I thought, I'm just going to do like Bedhead. I'm going to have 2 little kids that are running around in this room. And we have to use the bellhop as a babysitter. Well, it's New Year's. Let's dress everybody in tuxedos because it's New Year's. They're all going to go out, but the parents leave without him. When I saw Antonio and his wife, I thought, wow, they look like a really cool international spy couple. What if they were spies? And these 2 little kids, one of them keeps falling asleep on the set. He's so young. They can barely tie their shoes. They don't know parents are spies. They have to go save them. Okay, there's 5 of those movies now, right? The other one was, I really love making short films. I really want this anthology thing to work. What if it's 3 stories, like a 3-act structure, not 4? Same director, not 4 different directors. I'm going to try it again. Why on earth would I try it again? Well, because I'd already done one and figured out how I could do it better, and that's Sin City. Those are by far 2 of my biggest successes that came directly from that failure. So I always say, follow your instinct. If it doesn't work, just go. Sometimes the only way across the river is to slip on the first 2 rocks. So where's the key in the ashes of the failure? Because if I had an instinct, that means I was on the right track. I didn't get the result I want. That's because the result might be something way bigger that I don't have the vision for, and the universe is pushing me that way.
By the way, a lot of people that look back to 4 Rooms see a lot of creative genius in there. So you say it flopped.
It flopped financially.
Yeah, but you know, there's so many ways to measure success.
Totally. Yeah. But like I said, I would say, well, it was successful because, you know, even Roger Ebert said, hey, you furnished my favorite room. You know, I was like, hey, I could take that. But now that I think there's something else still there. I keep sifting and it's like, oh yeah, 2 big successes came from that. That's an amazing lesson to have because it makes you feel better about failure. Think of like The Thing by John Carpenter. He
Mhm.
put that movie out the same weekend as E.T. That thing bombed. Critics were calling it pornography, because of all the weird special effects, and audiences didn't go either. And he thought he made a great movie. So, it makes you question your instincts. Well, 10 years later, turns out, oh, it's a classic. So sometimes it takes the audience a while. So if you have some kind of failure on something, you don't let it knock you down. Just go, maybe in 10 years, they'll think it's great. I'm just going to commit to making a body of work. Some will succeed, some will overperform, some will underperform. It's not your job. You just want to be a creative person. Just create. I tell you, just create. Stop thinking about movie per movie and worrying so much about each one or project to project. If you're a business person, just commit to making a body of work like an artist would do. And you don't know what the masterpieces are going to be, or which, someone's going to come and say, "Oh, that one that bombed. There is some really creative stuff in there," and it's not for you to decide. You just go and do it.
And sometimes I think it takes some time to process the failure to make sense of it. Like, at least for me, don't rush making sense of what didn't work. What lessons do I take from it? How do I sift through the ashes, as you said?
Yeah.
Like, it takes time. You have to sleep on it a bunch of
Sometimes
nights.
it's right there, and then sometimes you come back, revisit it, later, because you might not have had some information you have now that makes you look at it a lot differently.